by Texas, who's been one of the softest college football teams in the country the last decade plus. Steve Sarkisian has never had a big win at Washington, where 90% of the time he was the best recruiter on the field. Against Southern Cal, where 100% of the time he was the best recruiter on the field. And at Texas, where other than playing Bama, he's coaching the most talent on the field. But a decade or 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 years, 10 plus years in as a head coach at those 3 stops. And Steve Sarkisian gets a big time win. Steve's fortunate. He coached under Pete Carroll and Nick Saban. And he was lucky to get another blue blood job. How many guys get a blue blood job after getting run from one blue blood? So Sarkisian was fired from Southern Cal and then landed the Texas job. Pretty impressive. I know he's a good recruiter. He must be a hell of a salesman. But they're riding high in Texas. Now, are they going to lose to like Iowa State? I don't know. I don't have a lot of faith in them running it, but they should. But Alabama was embarrassed. They don't have the coaching staff they've had. Bartu's been talking about that for a couple of years. It just doesn't look like they've got the bite, the kind of ferocious tendency or nature that they created. Aggressive, violent, dominant, imposing their will in the trenches, all that. Boy, I just went very cliche football. Thank you very much. I'll take a bow there. You just don't see that. They're not intimidating. They're still really good. They made a ton of mistakes. Could have won the game, or the game could have come down to the last minute if they don't do that. They didn't use their very talented quarterback well. But Sarkisian in Texas embarrassed Nick Saban in Alabama. So there you go. We are the Out of Bounds Show, 105.9 The Zone ESPN. I slept on a purple mattress last night, and so did my dog. But I slept on a purple mattress from Miskelly Furniture and Miskelly Sleep Stores, and it was awesome. The one and only purple grid, from Miskelly Sleep Store, groundbreaking, no-pressure gel technology, is the star of every purple mattress powered by Miskelly Sleep Stores, any of the locations, or Miskelly Furniture. Also, Jason, if you're looking for a sectional to get you all comfortable for college football and the NFL, if you're looking for a recliner, sofa, any number of things, Miskelly Furniture, and any of the Miskelly locations. And you can find the purple mattress at any of their locations. Lay down on it, get comfy, see what you think. Winnie and I love our purple mattress from Miskelly Sleep Store. All right, the show is also brought to you by the Honey Butter Chicken Biscuit. Ooh. At Burgers, Blues, and Barbecue. Honey Butter Chicken Biscuit at Burgers, Blues, and Barbecue. B3 in Madison. 6 days a week, baby. Breakfast. All kinds of different items. Delicious. Order it for your office, for your school, the insurance, pharmaceutical reps out there. Drop it by your clients. It's a beautiful thing. CPAs, law firms, Burgers, Blues, and Barbecue, B3 in Madison, the Honey Butter Chicken Biscuit. It is fantastic. Now, Jason said we need to give something away today. So, we like clever, funny texts on whatever we're talking about. Like how bad Taco Bell is in the first segment.
Yeah.
And Jason talked about how he still, hammers some Taco Bell. What do you eat Taco Bell like once a month?
Yeah, I'd say once a month.
Maybe more?
When I was driving a lot, like one semester I was driving up and back from Oxford a lot, I would get Taco Bell at least 6 times a month.
All right, we just had an Ole Miss fan say that a lot of times he grabs it in Winona on the way back from Oxford.
Winona, Grenada.
Oh, they both have them?
Yeah, great spots.
Okay. Let's not use the word great.
Okay.
Let's just say
convenient.
There's Taco Bells there. Yeah. Let's save great for Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
And amazing, steaks and tacos and honey butter chicken biscuits from all our local culinary restaurants and bars and dives. Okay, so here's what I'm going to give away. Pearl River Resort, Golden Moon Casino, Sportsbook and Lounge, and Dancing Rabbit Golf Club. What do I have here? I just opened this up. You hear this? All right.
Wow.
That's the certificate. What do I have? I got a one-night stay at the Golden Moon.
Ooh.
All right.
For free?
Yeah. One-night stay for the Golden Moon. You're
Come
literally
on.
steps from the sports book. I mean, how good. And if you download the app, what can you do? You can bet anywhere on property. All right. Let's also give away complimentary round of golf for 2 at Dancing Rabbit Golf Club. So you got a night at the hotel and 2 rounds of golf at Dancing Rabbit Golf Club. There. Best text on anything. Actually, the funnier, the better.
Okay.
I mean, and these Taco Bell texts are hilarious. They really are. But we've had 2 people tell us that they stop at the Taco Bell on the way back from Ole Miss football games. That would be, and Jason just let me know, that's in Grenada and Winona, which are wonderful Mississippi towns. But I don't think I've been to the Taco Bell at either one, and I'm okay with it. I did stop in Grenada on the way up to see Patrick Kelly and Dole Bryan and my buddies in Oxford when I did a show from Finch and Kelly on the square. And there's like a barbecue place, Jason, that's actually local right down the road.
In Grenada?
Yeah.
You said? Yeah. Yeah, I know.
And I got a pulled pork sandwich.
Is it close to like a Shell station? Because I think that.
It may be. I may have. Yes, it may be.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. That place is actually really good. I've gotten it a couple times coming back from Oxford.
I can't remember the name. It's got a clever name, I think.
But it kind of looks like, like a wooden.
Yeah. Yes, it does. It looks like a log cabin.
Exactly.
Or maybe a half a log cabin.
Yeah, definitely.
With a little teepee roof type deal, I think.
Like you might know.
But it's been a while.
Okay. Like an ant works there or something like that?
When I came back from my remote at Finch and Kelly in April, when we had Chris Beard on the show. Was that April? Yeah. April, I went through a torrential rainstorm.
Jeez.
Thunderstorm for like an hour and a half. So I didn't stop. I just kept on rolling through the deal. Why do you always catch a hella thunderstorm on I-55 if you're coming back from Memphis or Oxford? Why is that?
I don't get it. And no matter how fast your windshield wipers are moving,
it's just
doesn't do jack.
Yeah. Dang. What was I coming back from? Maybe I was coming back from Nashville in the concert that I went to with my buddy. I guess so. I can't remember. Anyway, let me give the text line so you can enter and maybe you'll win a night to the Golden Moon Casino and 2 rounds of golf to award-winning Dancing Rabbit Golf Club. The Ag Up Equipment text line is 601-885-3776. 885-3776. I got a question on the Heisman stuff. With Quinn Ewers going on the road to Bama and playing well against a top 5 team and the number 1 recruiter, why would Caleb Williams still be number 1 in the Heisman deal?
I mean, if you're going strictly numbers here, he's still at the top for passer rating, but that doesn't mean much against San Jose State and, Hamburger Tech.
Right.
So that's, there's some numbers nerds that keep him at the top because of.
Well, I understand what the odds are in Vegas. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just saying in the media, why would he still be number 1? Quinn Ewers went on the road against the most dominant college football team in America the last 14 years, and he won, and he played really well. We're watching the game right now in the BankPlus Studio. I don't think that was a fumble. Goodness gracious. But, hey, Texas took it to Bama, and now here's the deal, Jason. Can they handle success? And everybody, you were in Austin, Texas last weekend while they were in Tuscaloosa, but everybody was going crazy. The question is, can they handle success? and run it and get in and actually do what they should be doing, every now and then, not every year. And what if they do this the year before they come to the SEC? Now think about that. They're already hyped even when they go 6-6 and 7-5.
Of course, they're back.
I mean, Herb Street is always going to talk about them on game day, regardless, right? They can be average, they can be good. They're Texas. Can you imagine what Commissioner Greg Sankey is thinking after that game and after the ratings that it got? So we talk about ratings all the time and television. And you look at what Colorado and Nebraska did, and that was a huge game.
Crazy.
Yes. But Texas and Alabama, 8.6 million people. Greg Sankey's sitting there going, I want to go back to the table with Disney and ESPN. Now, we'll see if Apple buys ESPN. I don't know. And there's rumors that some of the other big boys want to get in. I don't know if Zuckerberg's getting in. Who knows? Who knows? Tim Cook's in and Apple's in, and they have so much money they don't even know what to do. People have said that $50 billion is like you and I going to Taco Bell after the show, which I don't want to do, but I'm just talking about as far as numbers.
Stay committed here. Let's do it.
Okay.
Good lunch.
No. Let's go to Burgers, Blues, and Barbecue and actually get a honey butter chicken biscuit and get something good, and it's local.
Okay, fair.
But my point is, Sankey's sitting there thinking, Texas and Alabama played, and right at 9 million people watched it. Most watched regular season game since when? I read it yesterday. I just had it. Most watched regular season college football game on ESPN since 2015.
Wow.
What?
Incredible.
That's the kind of matchups that people want. Now, it's also what a 9-game schedule looks like, by the way, for our listeners. Well, what does that mean, Bo? Well, a 9-game conference schedule gives you what we've gotten so far this year. LSU with the loss, Bama with the loss, Texas A&M with the loss, South Carolina with the loss. I'm missing one other. But that's what a 9-game schedule gets you. Florida. Come on, Jason. Florida with the loss. All of those are non-conference Power 5 losses. Florida, A&M, Bama, LSU, South Carolina. I think I'm missing one. That's what a 9-game schedule is going to look like. Boy, are you going to have to be, sharpen the sword in recruiting, know who you are, especially if you're Ole Miss, MSU, Arkansas, even the Auburn and Tennessee programs to a certain extent. South Carolina, I don't know if Florida's ever going to come back. They're going to be tested this week when Tennessee plays at Florida. And that is a game that they at least need to play well. This thing could get away from Billy Napier sooner than later. That's 5 non-conference, but I think it's 6. 5 non-conference losses.
You said LSU, right?
I did. So Florida, A&M, LSU, Bama, South Carolina, all with non-conference Power 5 losses. And it's early.
Yeah.
Now, Georgia's smart. They have Georgia Tech at the end of the year, and they don't schedule another Power 5. Whereas South Carolina plays 2 Power 5s. Florida plays 2 Power 5s. And somebody else, I thought, played 2 Power 5s. That's not smart. Non-conference games, my bad.
Yeah. No, I was thinking about, and somebody on the text line said it too, Vanderbilt, but if we're, because they lost to Wake Forest, I don't know if we ever want to include Vanderbilt.
That's right. Vandy lost to Wake, but they're beyond terror. I mean, they are the worst team in our league by a million miles. Worst recruiter, worst team.
No doubt.
They're just not any good. They don't believe in scoring. I mean, you got to score a little bit. I know Sly Kroom and Eddie O didn't believe in scoring at Ole Miss and Mississippi State. I mean, how many first down? We had to set a record for least first downs made in what year was that? 05. Talking about not easy to do sports talk radio. Sylvester Kroom and Eddie O as your coaches. No scoring, baby. No first downs. No red zone drives. Goodness gracious.
Dude, I just going back and looking at those records and now you're like, man, if Ole Miss went 2-10 today, would Vaught Hemingway be on fire? Like now that we've had a couple Sugar Bowls recently, and
yeah,
like recent success to where it's.
Have you had recent success?
Fairly recent.
Okay.
I mean,
no, you have.
Yeah,
now Mississippi State's been to 13 straight bowl games.
Yeah.
They've had more, but yeah, you've been to some big bowl games. Atlanta, Sugar Bowl. You know what? You just hit on something. The expectations in Starkville and Oxford. I can't believe how many people can't take anything from the win in Starkville. First year head coach, you beat Arizona. They got a phenomenal playmaker at quarterback and a fantastic offensive line. I think probably I don't know if it's a better offensive line than you have. But no, because you got pressure on Delora throughout the night. You just couldn't get him on the ground. So, but still, their offensive line, they have to block forever because Delora goes back there and runs around like a crazy man for 5 and 6 seconds. And that's one, impossible to block. And then on the flip side, it's impossible to cover people, excuse me. My basketball's coming out at me. Cover people that long, right?
Right.
But, I mean, you won the game. You have a new coach. If you didn't think that you were going to have growing pains with Zach Arnett, you've lost your mind.
You don't know Mississippi football.
No, you don't know anywhere. Nick Saban lost to La Monroe in his first year. Brian Kelly was embarrassed by 23 points at home by Tennessee. I mean, I could go on and on of new coaches. I mean, in year 5 or 6, Jimbo Fisher went 5 and 7. So, we need to kind of, but I know people aren't going to, I mean, there were people talking about 9 and 10 win. Neither team is a 9 or 10 win team this year. If you go 8 and 4, you should dance in the streets naked. I'm not saying you won't get arrested. You think Madison PD will be mad at me for saying that?
That's not inciting a riot or anything. So I'd say, I think you're fine.
Let me ask you this. Is it illegal if in your neighborhood to dance in the street naked?
Yes.
Why?
Indecent exposure. Yeah.
But what if you're in your yard?
I think it's
where
still...
you pay your mortgage and you pay your property taxes.
Now, see, is it different if you're in your house and all the windows are open? Is that different than being in your yard?
That's a good question. So if your blinds or drapes are open,
why?
And you're walking around naked in your living room,
exactly.
Could a prude, moralist neighbor turn you in? Is what you're asking.
Right.
Let's hear from Madison PD or the Sheriff's Department on that. The text line is 601-885-3776. The Out of Bounds Show, 105.9 The Zone ESPN, is brought to you by Charbroiled Oysters. Celebrate that Saints win. I mean, Drago's is tied to New Orleans. That's where the first two were, right? The first one was in Metairie. The second one's downtown in the Hilton on the end. Is it Canal or Poydras? Canal. Drago's Seafood Restaurant and Oyster Bar. And so you got the charbroiled oysters, you got the seafood gumbo, and you have the fried oyster po' boy and fried shrimp po' boy. Charbroiled oysters and a Stella Artois, Drago's Seafood Restaurant and Oyster Bar. Do we have an answer on the on whether or not if you're in your home? Well, let me ask you this. You're not even trying to flash anybody. You're just walking out of the shower and you're like, I want to go grab my wine off the counter.
Okay.
But you don't have any clothes on. While doing so, you go through your living room and through your kitchen, which has windows. Somebody's walking their dog out in the street and they see you. Is that a violation of any sort?
Can't be, right? I mean, you're in your comfort zone. If you can't walk around naked in your own house, what can you do?
I couldn't agree with you more. I've been batching it all week. I mean, what do you think I've been doing?
Are you hinting something?
Yeah, all right. JB on our text line says, JB here. Sounds like a normal Saturday evening at my house. Love it.
Police, get him.
If someone can see you in your house naked and they take a pic, it's a violation. That's from Doggone. I don't know if he's right or not, but he thinks that it is.
A violation from them? Because that's... Or like a violation from you.
I think it should be a violation on the person out in the street walking their dog.
Taking a picture
That's
of
the person who should get a ticket and a fine.
I think so.
Now, I just want to know what the people think. Our wonderful, beautiful, amazing listeners. So hit us up on the text line, 601-885-3776. Oh, this is great, Mr. DX. Bo, don't tempt the HOA. No kidding. Talking about people who take themselves too seriously. Nick says, sounds like your typical Saturday night in Reunion, and drops a pineapple.
Wow.
These are fighting words. Here we go. The gloves are off, and it's early on the Out of Bounds show, and I'm liking it.
It's Wednesday, folks.
I'm liking it. All right, so let me go with Nick again. Sounds like your typical Saturday night in Reunion. And those are fighting words because sometimes we'll have reunion nights come back or they'll text me personally and get a little, the feathers are ruffled a little bit.
Right.
Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Donahue says, as long as you're not committing any lewd acts, it's okay.
So if you're going to grab a glass of Wilderness Trail bourbon after a fantastic shower and you're nude in your home, if the prude takes or calls, I guess they'd have to take a pic because they'd have to have some evidence, then it sounds to me like you're okay. But I still want like an official ruling from somebody. Anybody, Madison PD, Flowood, Rankin County Sheriff, Hines, Madison Sheriff. What else am I looking for? Like, I'm trying to think of what else. I guess you could call the fire department too, couldn't you?
They could probably.
They may could get called on that. All right. The Out of Bounds show is brought to you by the Charbroiled Oysters at Drago's Seafood Restaurant and Oyster Bar, County Line Road on the property of the Hilton Jackson on County Line Road. How about some charbroiled oysters and seafood gumbo?
Oh, come on.
With a cold beer.
A little hot sauce in there?
Ooh, yes, definitely hot sauce. Yeah, Louisiana hot sauce.
Let's go.
Yeah, at Drago's. Right across from Edwin White's Golf Shop on County Line Road. I think the Ryder Cup is next week or the next. I'm fired up about that. We haven't won. Oh, I retweeted this earlier. I'll tease it. I'll tell you when the last time we won in Europe. Ridiculous. We're live in the BankPlus Studio. Grab some charbroiled oysters at Drago's this week or this weekend.